Alright, I just wanted to show off this phone real quick. It's almost the perfect, what some might call a dumb phone. This is what I imagine. When I say dumb phone, this is what I imagine it to be. No one in their right mind wants to carry a Samsung Flipper from 2006 that only supports 2G. This right here is it. Look at this thing. It's AT&T locked. It could be perfect. I could be using this right now, if not for a few flaws. I'm recording with my S24 Ultra, but look at this. So this is a nice size. It's smaller than the S24 Ultra, and it has this amazing keypad, the Sonim XP5Plus. These two knobs. It looks like a ham radio. Looks like my walkie-talkie, my Anytone. Look at this. So that is volume, and this is these two can be binded to anything you want. And this is a channel selector for, I think, AT&T Anytone or AT&T True Connect or something like that. But let me show you. So power button. This has been on standby mode for like 5 days. And we have 73% battery life at half brightness. Yeah, that's better than any Android, any flip phone will ever get. Let's unlock it, and it's stock. It's not 4 a.m. It's stock because I'm actually sending it back today. Because the UI, it's smooth. It's running Android 11. The menu, I've installed apps on it. And the screen's way brighter. I have my white balance turned down, but it's way brighter than it shows on camera. But I've installed custom apps. Dude, custom apps work amazing on this thing. Web browser, it's perfect. Anything. I mean, it's not an OLED screen, of course, but it's such a nice screen on this form factor. It's so nice. But unfortunately, the OS is so locked down, and you can install apps on it, but the language options, like I actually got on the phone with Sonim, and it got escalated to like tier 2 or whatever it's called, and they were like, they emailed me back today, and they were like, well, language options are carrier specific, which is horrible. That's such a horrible way of doing things. But yeah, this is a like a construction site phone, basically, like a job site phone. And in America, on AT&T cell bands, it is only supports English and Spanish. I only speak one of those, and I need Japanese language support. And I've done a lot of hacky things to it. You can change the Android locale built in, and you can sideload like a sketchy, Android 4 Jelly Bean Japanese keyboard processor, and it just doesn't work. It's not a very nice experience, so unfortunately I will be returning this. But if you don't need foreign language options, you're on AT&T, you can get it unlocked, but AT&T is the main carrier. Oh, and it also has volume buttons. This thing has so many buttons, it's absurd. Volume, a push to talk, which can be binded to anything. Look at this. It could be binded to anything. And that's, we could skip that. That's AT&T push to talk. It has this button, which is not assigned. And it has the knobs. It's crazy. This thing is like awesome, in my opinion. The camera, not that good, but of course, I mean, it'll... like, what do you expect, right? It's 8 megapixels, a single cam with flash. And if we open it up, actually, I'll show you the inside of it if you're curious. Right, so that's the battery. That is a nice battery right there. This is a big battery, like 3,500. Yeah, this is nice. This will hold a charge. I know that for sure. And it has, look at this, man. Even my Samsung Galaxy doesn't have dual SIM support. And it cost $1,500. Dual SIM and a micro SD. You don't get that anywhere. No one makes a phone like that. Yeah, so, yeah, he supplemented. He got a Titan Pocket with it has a QWERTY keyboard. I think Japanese language options. A very nice phone. Very capable phone. I've been looking at them. I've held off, though. But he then had to supplement his life with, like, a Game Boy SP, a Nikon camera, like, stuff that makes your life more difficult, makes your life more cluttered digitally. And that's not the point of Dumbphones. The point of Dumbphones is to say, I'm going to detach myself from digital things. I'm going to get a phone that discourages social media use like this, right? It doesn't have I don't really use social media anyways. It's just Reddit and YouTube. But this thing discourages your social media use, but you can still like use your life in a simple way. Like, I have specialty devices. Look at this. This is my Texsun shortwave radio, right? FM, AM, long wave, medium wave, short band, and attached are some like AliExpress IMs. That's a specialty product. Look at this. This is my Flipper Zero. Oh, battery died on it. This is my Flipper Zero. It's a specialty product. Like, my Samsung cannot replicate this, and my Samsung cannot replicate this. But you know what I don't want? Is I don't want to have a phone, something that does text, call, WhatsApp, web browsing, YouTube. Like, I don't want to bring something that is half that, like a Nikon camera, like, or a Game Boy SP or whatever. This could, I know, I would bet money on it. I'm not going to try it, though. I'm returning it today, but this could play Game Boy games. This could probably play N64 if you really wanted it to. This has a very nice chipset inside of it. But things like, carrying a Samsung folder with you that can't do anything, and it hard limits you. It's like, oh, I'm, beating myself, basically, because I'm so bad on social media. I use Instagram so much, so I'm going to make, actually, my life more miserable and use a phone that is honestly bad. Like, it's a bad user interface, even today. And then I'm going to add on all these digital things that you probably don't already own. Like, you probably have to buy a Abernic game console because you can't play games on your phone anymore. And you probably have to buy a Nikon digital camera because you actually don't own it. And you have to buy, a nice pen set and stationery set because you can't take notes on your phone. Like, this is what I mean by consumerism. And people didn't think my first video was very good, though. I was right. You guys aren't really understanding it here. Actually, let me show you. So, this might be its own video. So, this is off right now, I think. Yeah. Look at this, right? SoftBank. So, this is locked right now. And it's locked because I forgot the pin. I could sell this, but I lost the pin. And do you know what happens when you forget the pin to your Kyocera 902KC? You have to, 1, live in Japan, 2, have a Japanese driver's license, 3, you have to call SoftBank or go to a SoftBank location, and 4, they have to give you a unlock code to unlock this phone. They of course, that assumes you would be on the SoftBank network. And if you're on the AT&T network on this phone, you cannot call AT&T up and say, Oh man, I forgot my pin. Like, I forgot my pin to this Japanese phone. You know what they would tell you? That's an unsupported device. Or Verizon or T-Mobile, whatever you like. Whatever you. Yeah, wrong pin. Whatever you would try. Like, yeah, so it's done for basically. What? And it's receiving notifications, but it's like it's done for. So this phone's garbage now because I'm using it outside of Japan. Like there's risk. There is inherent risk using weird phones like this out like 2,000 miles away from their region. You get stuff like this, and I would never give the regular person like this just a risk. Like how many times does the average person who has no like Linux knowledge, like they don't have to, like they forget their password, they forget their pin one time and you're screwed. I can't get into this through Android because I don't think I have, or to accept debug mode you have to actually go into the phone. There's no bootloader because it doesn't have a volume menu, and SoftBank actually disables that. Like there was a guy claiming that, oh, you can totally bootload unlock this. He never got back to me, so I think it was just false, just straight up lying to me. So like this is the risk. Like this is why I'm saying this is bad, man. I would not give this to like the 18-year-old going off to college being like, I use social media. I would be sinning against them to give them this Japanese like grandma phone, dude. Whereas this, like, it looks weird. Like, another thing about Dumbphones I see on Reddit is, oh, but I can customize, I get pink. I can get it in the pink color and it looks nice. This does not look nice. You look strange with this. You better be wearing some Carhartt or whatever while you're using this, or you look kind of wacky. And, I mean, I totally understand that. Like, no one wants to look weird, especially when you're young, when you're, like, 19 or 22. Like, you don't want to be the person in college. I never went to college, but it's like, I'm sure you don't want to be the person in college being like, what are you doing? Like, you got a walkie-talkie for a phone? Like, it's much more fashionable to have your little, like online group and be like, oh, man, I got the Japanese phone, you know? So that's what it is about Dumbphones. Like, that's what I was really trying to harp on. And y'all can use, Japanese K-ties. You guys should not be limited to that. You guys should be having masterclass hardware. This has a Qualcomm Snapdragon in it. Like 8 gigabytes of RAM or something insane like that. 32 gigabytes of... Like, this is nice. I would use this if it had the proper language and keyboard options. Right? This is slow. This is fast. That's my argument. And I hope that phone manufacturers catch up and they say, hey, people are sort of liking these. Let's make some for the American market or even the Canadian market, right? So y'all should think higher of yourselves. Y'all should not be limited to these weird phones. I would like to see more of these. That's my whole thesis. I think I'm right, honestly. I think I'm right. So... honestly, if you're in the market, check out this. I got this for $120. This is literally going for the same price from Japan. Got this for $120. It is so nice. Such a nice user experience. Sideloads apps very nicely. Like, very nice. So, that's it. Alright. Hope you enjoyed. Maybe I have another phone on here. Another wacky phone. I don't know. We'll see.